Hello, my friends, and welcome to Spaniard School of Student Podcast. I'm your host, Charlie the Spaniard Benjamin, and we're back with episode number 60 of the Spaniard School Podcast, More Advice to My Younger Self. So a couple episodes ago, this would have been episode number 56, I recorded a podcast episode that was Advice to My Younger Self, and that was based on social media posts that I put out. And I asked people, random people, hey, if you could give your younger self a piece of advice, what would that advice be? And again, I recorded some of that in episode number 56 a few weeks ago. And there was a lot of comments that came in and a lot of great stuff that I think can help you and that you can apply to your life now. So I wanted to create another episode and entitle this one, More Advice to My Younger Self. I understand that at your age, you're going through life, you're trying to figure it out, you're trying to figure out who you are, who your friends are, what you want to do, where you want to go, things that are important to you, putting all these different situations of trying to fit in and trying to do the right thing and trying to do your best and trying not to quit and trying to move forward. It's overwhelming. And I know for me how valuable it has always been, even at my age of 42, to seek advice from people who have been there and done that and who are experienced and who have information to share with you, people that you trust. And I've gone down through these suggestions and I picked the ones that I think are most applicable to you in your life. And so we'll kick that off. The first one has to do with standing up for your dreams and ambitions. And this person said, I wish I would have had the strength to stand up for my own dreams and ambitions instead of being afraid of displeasing my dad. I wasn't mature enough to understand that. He had more life experiences that I could learn from, but that didn't mean that my dreams were invalid. I've tried my best to correct that in dealing with my own kids. So that's a tough one because it's not only just standing up for your dreams and ambitions, but it's standing up for your dreams and ambitions when people you're close to, people who love you, people who you love, might try to tell you that, hey, that's not a good dream. You can't do that. You should do this. This is tough. And I chose to bring it to the podcast because it's tough. I'm not going to say, don't listen to your parents and do whatever you want to do, because that's not necessarily the right thing. And oftentimes it's the wrong thing to do. My advice based on this suggestion is to do your best with what you can, where you're at in your life. Understand that you're going to have nights, maybe months, maybe years similar to this person, that they had these dreams and ambitions, but they were being squashed by people that were like in their lives. And that's very difficult. And that over time, when you get to be 30 or 35 or 42, you will have accumulated your own experience that you can apply to your life. But I know that I've always had success kind of trusting my gut and my intuition, but then also listening to people that I value and trust. And let's say your dad is squashing your dreams or your mom is squashing your dreams. Maybe you would talk to a coach that you trust. Maybe you would talk to a principal that you trust. Maybe you would talk to a friend's parent that you trust, just to get more insight from them. And then they can help steer you in the right direction as well. The next one has to do, and this is a fun one, and I've actually done this, asking your grandparents to record their lives. The comment was, ask your grandparents to give you a few hours to record the story of their lives and families. It's priceless history that you will want later, and you will be amazed at some of what you hear. It will put your current worries into perspective and give you hope to deal with them. That last part is super important. It'll put things into perspective for you. And what that means is this. In your life, I'll speak for myself. When I was in 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, college, I thought it was the end of the world. A million times I thought it was the end of the world. When you hear other people's stories, it gives you perspective. And perspective is just maybe like an alternate point of view. It takes you from thinking, oh, this is the most terrible thing in the world, I'll never get through this, to that thing happened to that person and they got through it. Maybe I can get through it too. So it does give you perspective like that. But it's history. And I think history is awesome. History for the sake of history, knowing why we're here, why we do what we do, how we got to have this technology that I'm recording on a computer and putting on YouTube and on a podcast feed. It's fascinating stuff, how we as people evolved over time. I think it's fascinating. I actually did this with my grandparents, and I did it about 2 years ago, and they recently passed away. My grandmother was 94. My grandmother was 93. My grandfather was 94. And I have that interview that I put up on a podcast. I'll have it forever. And it's awesome. It's neat. So ask people, parents, grandparents, older neighbors, older people in general. Ask them their story and ask if you can put it into audio or video. The next one has to do with the kids around you being similar to you. It says this: the kids on your left and right, in front of you and in back of you, are no different than you. They have the same fears, hang-ups, and they do not have it all figured out, no matter how much it may look like they do. The best athletes get nervous before games. The best students are shaking in their boots before a test or when they get called on in class. The most popular kids are worried what others think of them. Nobody has a perfect life. Also, there are kids in the room whose names you don't know that might be the happiest. That actually just gave me chills. Look inside yourself, not at others, for how you measure success and happiness. This is like one of the best ones that I've gotten. It's so true. I've come to understand that, you know, in fighting, all these other guys who are like big, strong, brave, courageous, super tough, I'm not going to say every single one, but so the vast majority of them were nervous, were scared, were anxious, were all of the things that I was. And one of the best things, and I'll kind of restate this with the last one I'm going to give you. One of the best things that can happen to you in life is that you realize, like, oh, we're just people. Everyone's a person. Even the super famous person with Lamborghinis and mansions and whatever is on Instagram, they're a person. And yes, some people are happier than other people, but at the end of the day, they have their stuff, you have their stuff. We have an opportunity. Some of us have like better life situations, but at the end of the day, we are people. And the kid beside you, even though like he may seem like the coolest guy in the world, or the girl over there who like does everything right and gets straight A's and like really popular, she has her stuff. We all have our stuff. And that last part, look inside yourself, not at others, for how you measure success and happiness. That's it. It comes from inside. All right, the next one has to do with the world being so much bigger than middle school and high school. And it says this: the world is so much bigger than middle school and high school. It's easy to feel low self-worth when you're not the most popular, smartest, or most athletic kid in the school. But for most of us, your best life is waiting. So live for that. Hold it in your heart when you're hurting. One of the coolest things that I've experienced growing up is kind of realizing that middle school never ends. There's actually songs about that. And that it's all what you make of it. Right? It's all what you make of it. If you accept your lot in life, then that is your life. If you don't accept it and you push for more, well, and you don't quit, well, you're going to have more. I love looking at this, understanding that, hey, the future is limitless. The possibilities are endless. It's up to me. Let's do this. I love that idea. I love that attitude. I love that life philosophy. And again, when you're your age, middle school and high school, yes, it's easy to think the world is ending, the world is crashing. It's not. There are opportunities to move forward. Some situations are so much more challenging than others. Asking for help, talking openly and honestly about how you feel with people who care about you, that's going to help tremendously. And understand that the world is so much bigger than middle school and high school. The next one's kind of short and sweet. Show up and do the work. If I could tell my younger self anything, I'd probably tell myself to stop showing up late and to do his work on time. I used to be quite a slacker. Last week's episode on the Spaniard School podcast was your choices have consequences. Simple fact, your choice has a consequence. Positive, negative, who knows? It has a consequence. There's also another truth. Show up and do the work. There's no way around it. If you want something in life, you've got to do the work. Winning the lottery, yes, you can get lucky. You can get lucky in life. But I've learned that luck is when preparation meets opportunity. In my life, luck has happened when extreme hard work and preparation has met with opportunity. Show up on time and do the work. And the last one is this. It's about growth and your ceiling in life. From the message, there's room for growth and your ceiling is no lower than anyone else's. The world is yours. Touching on that idea that we're all human and the kids beside you, in front of you, behind you are very similar to you. This has been one of my favorite realizations in the last several years. It's that your ceiling, my ceiling, is no lower than anyone else's. All of the people you see who have the things you want are what you want to be. You can be them. And also remember that the happiness, look inside yourself, not at others, for how you measure success and happiness. Marry those two things together. Understand that your ceiling, I'm pointing at you. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm pointing at you. Your ceiling is no lower than my ceiling. I'm a regular dude who just works hard. You're a regular dude or a regular girl who can choose to just work hard. Your ceiling is no lower than anyone else's. You might have more obstacles than me, more challenges than me. You might have to fight harder than me and longer than me, but I'm a regular person. All those guys on the wall behind me are regular people. All these books and authors behind me, they're regular people. You're regular people, and your ceiling is no lower than my ceiling, is no lower than anyone else's ceiling. The world is yours. And I'm going to end it with that, saying the world is yours. I want to thank you for tuning in, students, teachers, parents, coaches who are watching. I appreciate you being here. Every week I release a new episode. Please subscribe to Spaniard School the Student podcast on any podcast app. And thank you for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/Charlie Spaniard. We'll have these full episodes posted as well as shorts with some of the highlights. Again, that is youtube.com/Charlie Spaniard. My website is charliespaniard.com. It has all my books, speaking information, social media links. It's all there. And please utilize the show notes below to check out my new #1 best-selling book, Perfect for Middle and High School. Go figure. It's in the link below. See ya.